What's up, YouTube? This is True Raw for TV. Before I get into the subject at hand, if you want to donate to the channel, I'll put a link in the description box where you can donate and show love to the channel. Um, I guess Sixers Nation has Julius Erving, aka Dr. J, to thank for the team. The Sixers extending this season. He had a talk with Ben Simmons. I'm pretty sure he talked about uh, more effective ways that he could dominate this game, or put a stamp on this game, or be effective in this game, and it worked. Ben Simmons had his best game of this series, scoring 25 points to go along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. And the Sixers ran away with this one for the most part. The final score wasn't really a good indication of how dominant they were for most of this game. The final score of 112 to 101, and this series is tied at 3 games apiece. But it wasn't just Ben Simmons. Jimmy Butler broke through, had a dominant 25. There's a difference between having a statistical game where you put up 25 points and you score a lot of it in garbage time. But there's games where you have 25 and it's impactful. And I think Kenny Smith says it a lot. He had 25 points to go along with 6 rebounds and 8 assists. Joel Embiid lumbered his way to 17 points to go along with 12 rebounds and 1 assist. J.J. Redick chipped in with 11 points. And Tobias Harris had 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. And I believe Mike Scott had 11 points. Let me check right quick. Yeah, 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. For the Raptors, Kawhi Leonard had 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists, but it wasn't his most impactful game. A lot of that came, I guess, in what you might want to call garbage or garbage time. Pascal Siakam had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Marc Gasol was not a big factor at all, held to 7 points. Kyle Lowry had 13 points and 6 assists. And Serge Ibaka, who is really not, at least in my eyes, been Serge Ibaka to me looks old. He can't be that old, but he looks old. He doesn't. I don't know. He just doesn't look good in this. To me, at least, in this playoffs run. Generally speaking, he hasn't really looked all that good. Um, but Philly wanted it. Philly came out on a mission, and they just would not let Kawhi Leonard really get it going in this particular game. And they played. They were the more physical team, and especially Jimmy Butler. I think Ben Simmons called out Jimmy Butler to play more effectively out there, and he did deliver in doing that. And with that, this series is tied at 3 games apiece. Game 7 we played in Toronto, and in my opinion, all the pressure is on the Raptors, because the Raptors, for different stretches of this season, were seen as possibly the best team in the NBA, or at least the best team in the Eastern Conference. It wasn't until later that consensus opinion became more the Milwaukee Bucks. So all the marvels will be in Game 7. You know what I'm saying? Can the Raptors step up and win a critical game? You know, I also saw some Raptors fans criticizing Coach Nick Nurse for not extending his rotation and playing like Jeremy Lin. I mean, I know during the playoffs, you know, the rotations get sort of chopped down a little bit. So, I mean, it's natural. But if you do see some guys struggling, you know what I'm saying, why not switch things up a little bit? You know, I don't know. You guys tell me what your opinion is on that one. I mean, I'm like this. If it's not broke, don't fix it. People got to remember that the Raptors did just win Game 5 by 36 points. And I think people are kind of prisoners of the moment. You know what I'm saying? I think, in my opinion, the Raptors will win Game 7. I think they'll feed off of the crowd energy. And I think the Sixers will be kind of affected. Um, I think the Sixers will be affected by, the pressure. I think mental fatigue will set in to an extent. I think the Raptors are going to go on one of those runs, like a 15-0 run. And, I just think that ultimately the Raptors are going to win this series. I would be shocked if Philly won this series. I really would. Um, but tell me what you guys think.